That was a long delay. I can do it now.
All right, great. You can do it now. Hello, Twitter world.
We're about to go live, Twitter world.
Let's do it now. We'll do it live.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Are we live? 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 Let us know if we're live. Here in the chat, trying to see if we
we're live.
are live. Oh, wow. I even got a skip survey app so I can go straight to it. How about that?
Wow.
It's Bobby Skinner, Justin Penik of Talking Giants, Football Grump of the Just Giants podcast. We are here in Mobile, Alabama, day 2 of the Senior Bowl. I had a lot of fun today, right? The American team, like, to me, just all the guys I wanted to see play well did. You know, starting with Christian Haynes and Cam Kinchins in Miami. The national team kind of confirmed some priors with the quarterback, so we'll get into it. We have a recap coming out later where we button up a little bit. But this is Giants related, so I do want to start with Bo Nix, and we could be a little looser here. I don't want him as a quarterback for the New York Giants unless he slips to like round 4. If he slips like round 4, then I'm okay. We trade for a 3rd round comp pick, then I'm okay with it. But to me, I just don't see a good quarterback, right? And I watched a little bit of his film coming in here, and I'm just like, this is confirming priors of like, this is just like not as accurate as his numbers would make you to think. Though he's sloppy, he's late, he even fumbled a snap today. Like, I know everyone wanted to see these guys that come out here and ball. Penix looks like maybe an early 2nd round pick, so that could be something that could happen. But Nix, dude, I'm all out on him.
Look, we need a quarterback, most likely. Almost definitely. So it doesn't – I don't get any great pride from saying that I don't like one of the top 6 guys coming down here. And I don't. I don't like Bo Nix. At best, I could say he throws a good enough ball.
Yeah.
Right? That's really –
Well, like last year, there were some really bad quarterbacks here.
Yeah,
he's not like that,
He's not
right?
that. He's not Tyson Bagent. You know what I mean?
Out of the quarterbacks that have been here since we've been here, Mac Jones, I thought, was the best one that we saw. Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett had their good moments. Pickett was struggled in the rain. I think Bo Nix is probably the 2nd best after Mac Jones since we've been down here, and then last year was a struggle.
I would say Michael Penix has looked better than him.
Then who?
Bo Nix.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think
God,
Penix is. Did I say Nix? I meant Penix has been the 2nd best since I've been down here.
I thought you said Nix.
There's an entire list of people that have looked better than Bo Nix throughout the years.
Yeah.
And for that reason, like, I think it takes a lot for a quarterback to look bad. There could be quarterbacks that don't look good, and even if you're great, there's always met with if you're great in the Senior Bowl, there's met with skepticism of, oh, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. So Penix is doing exactly what he needs to do, right?
Yeah.
But Nix, man, I do think it takes a lot to look bad. And what Nix can't even take a snap.
Yeah, he struggled with that. Now, again, I think if he was a no-name guy coming into here, like, the Tulane quarterback.
Nobody cares.
Like, he'd be like, okay, he's fine. He's made some throws. But the idea of him, like, getting into the 1st round down here, to me, that's dead and over. Like, there's no shot at that.
Well, look, there's 7 quarterbacks here.
I thought it was slim to begin with.
If I had like a clip of every throw from a throw from each of the 7 quarterbacks, the wobbliest and the least strong throw is coming out of Bo Nix's hand, and that just can't be.
Yeah, like the idea, like, yeah, is he going to be the flashy quarterback? No, but you can't have wobbly, low velocity, inaccurate throws. What about Penix though? Now, I think Penix has had a week where it's like, okay, his film is going to be the total story, but I've been impressed. What I see is like you don't have like he's got these big deep throws, right? That's just, I think the way the defenses are playing here are taking that away, and they don't have like maybe the receivers that are going to do that. But I'm seeing a guy who just like sees the field well and gets the ball out quick on time. Yeah. Now, he can't really make any plays with his legs or anything. He's out of all the quarterbacks who have like had flat out, okay, this is a sack, Penix has probably had the most. But I've been impressed. I think he's processed the field well. I think he sees the coverages well and gets the ball out. Now, you're going to see simplified coverages down here too, and that's why I think the film is going to be 99% of the film, and knowing him as a person is going to be 99% of the evaluation, where here will be 1% of it.
Yeah.
At least, I think Penix just didn't hurt himself.
Right. No, and I think that was the main goal for Penix this week, because what really, for me, like I haven't gone knee deep into Michael Penix, but what I want out of the next, we're streaming this on Talking Giants. What I want out of the next Giants quarterback is a big arm, which, hey, does Penix have? A lot of people say that Penix does have it. I think under pressure, that arm isn't as big, and the ability to improvise, which it's clear that Penix does not have that ability. That's why, for a team like Minnesota, who already has so much structure in place, including great coaching, I think Penix needs to go into a situation like that to be successful. So Penix hasn't hurt himself this week, but lack of a big arm and lack of seeing him throw under pressure, which that's not what this week is about, those are like some of the things that I need to see. But it will not happen this week. So
the other thing, too, is that, and this is to take away nothing from all the 7 quarterbacks, the way these practices are being run, we're just not seeing a lot of balls being thrown downfield in practice. So there's that as well. You make a good point, Justin. If Giants fans want a quarterback that's going to throw the ball downfield, there's plenty of film of Michael Penix doing that and that he can do that. But I think that when pressure's in his face, probably because of his injury history, he doesn't step into contact.
Oh.
He'll take the contact, but he's often fading away, and I think that's where the accuracy starts to fall apart. And we don't get to see any improvement on that in the practices here. That's not going to happen.
Right.
Yes, but I think for Penix to end up being a Giants quarterback, he would have to fall into the second round. Obviously we got to do our full evals on him. You know who I am? Get ready to see this guy in every mock draft tweeted between now and the next couple months. UConn guard Christian Haynes. I'm in like full bloom love with this cat. He is dominating one-on-one reps. Like one-on-one, like if you had, like you can have a really good day having one-on-one reps, and you can still have like 2 really bad reps in one-on-ones or bad reps. He just did not have that at all today. He was getting into the D line's chest and just show-stopping power in their chest, and then was able to anchor down and was not getting pushed back at all. Even though that like the D linemen usually, even if they lose, they'll get like some push on the interior because that's just the nature of one-on-ones. He was dominant, and what I loved. And I saw the NFL Network clip of this. So they put him at center, which was where his bad reps were yesterday.
Because he's not a center.
Yeah, he's not a center. They put him at center. He goes against Jordan Jefferson, the LSU defensive tackle, and wins the rep, right? And Jefferson does like a little shove, after it, and Haynes gives him a nice shove. And Jefferson goes and grabs his helmet and rips his helmet off and throws it up in the air because I don't think he knew what else to do with it. He knew that he couldn't hit him with it. And Christian Haynes just like looks at him like, dude, you lost. And then did you guys hear what he said?
No.
He said, if you're scared, go to church. If you're scared, go to church. So just like,
I love that.
Again, didn't try and do like the hold me back type of thing with his offensive lineman. Just looked his ass dead in the eye and said, if you're scared, go to church. So I like him. I not to spoil my March 1st mock draft, but I'm just gonna guarantee Christian Haynes is in it.
One thing I was worried about with Christian Haynes and the Giants coaching staff is perhaps he looks a bit big and clunky, and I'm not sure that they, covet that kind of thing. But in team drills today, there was I know that this is going to sound like it's going to make us cringe, but there was a great running play in 11-on-11 where he moved up to the second level and just blew the hell out of a linebacker and opened up the hole for, I think, a touchdown, legitimately. No contact on the running back at all.
Yeah.
I really like that about him. But if I had to pick an O-lineman, I think that fits a little bit more to what the Giants are doing would be Jackson Powers-Johnson. And I think his openness to play guard, I think brings him now center versatility that the Giants desperately need. And, he's younger. He looks like he wrestles people out of the way. He's not nearly as feisty as Christian Haynes, but he wins a lot.
Yeah, he's looked really good. Me and Justin talked with him. Justin, who do you think we should put on the interview for Friday's pod? JPJ or Peyton Wilson?
Oh, I don't even think we were going to.
I figured as long as we don't have a defensive coordinator by then, I think we should just throw one interview on there.
Well, according to Joe Shane, we will have a defensive coordinator.
That's true.
I know. It's going to be Friday morning, which is going to suck.
JPJ. I think people would enjoy that interview.
Yeah, he looks good. He's, again, another guy with strong hands. His ability to recover is pretty nice. He hasn't been as clean as Christian Haynes, but at the same time, center, you have a lot less space to operate with. So yeah, those guys have been really good. Patrick Paul looked pretty good today. He's 6'7", has 36-inch arms, like jungle arms, like vines for arms. And He was able to get hands on guys, and he was mirroring pretty well. Tyler Guyton, the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma, had a little bit of an up and down day. He wasn't near as strong as yesterday.
I really like Isaiah Adams from Illinois, interior offensive lineman. I think over the last 2 days, I mean, I compile every single 1v1 rep that we have of these O-line, D-line, and I don't know if there's a set, maybe JPJ from Oregon, who we just referenced to, but I don't know if there's like a set of guys that have like 4 to 5 like really good reps and really good plays, or it's like I could put out a compilation video after 2 days, and Adams is one of those guys that does have that through the first 2 days.
Yeah, I would agree. I like him because it's never flashy, but they're wins. They're always wins.
I want to hear what you have to say about his hands, because I think he just uses his hands so well. And you see a lot of guys, they let you get into your chest, or even see some symbols, and they try and come around. He shoots his hands forward, and it's almost like you're watching like old school, but it works, especially for the interior guys.
Another guy I had a crush on coming in, Cam Kinchens out of Miami, the safety. By the way, I saw someone say like he kind of had an up and down year, so he may be like a second, third round pick. And we know safeties just seem to drop every single year. He was awesome. Like Lad McConkey had a sick day one, the Georgia receiver, and first one-on-one, Cam Kinchens goes and shuts his ass down on an out route, which the quarterback doesn't even throw the ball. I don't think. Had some good reps on the tight ends, and team drills was like being instinctive, where he came down the box, sniffed out a screen, and laid a big hit on that. And then there was another play where they ran a skinny post, and I'm telling you, he would have fucked this dude up. If might have gotten a penalty, he would have hit him so hard. But he goes to this, pulls up and goes to this, to the side, because you're not going to kill anybody at the Senior Bowl hitting. He probably would have hurt himself. He was coming in that fast. So he made some good plays. Also, we know the Giants like short kings. Jaquan Jackson, the wide receiver at Tulane, Jamari Thrash, Louisville wide receiver, they're looking pretty good.
Yep.
Always seem to get like some short guys out of here that look really good.
Would you think that Roman Wilson enters that conversation as like a 5'10" guy that sort of can play at all three levels?
I think Roman Wilson
plays bigger, doesn't he?
I think Roman, and he looks bigger than that too.
I had no idea that he was under 6 feet until you guys corrected me.
We had a funny conversation today, Grump, where you're like, does Roman Wilson remind you a little bit of Sterling Shepard? And I said yes, and my comp for Roman Wilson has been Jaden Reed, who I comp to Sterling Shepard. So
the transitive property of wide receivers.
Which, again, I think would be a really good fit in this offense. Now, he's not – we'll see how this draft plays out.
Right.
But whenever I look at some of the stuff, I see guys like Xavier Worthy from Texas being like flipping to the second round, and I look at that guy and I think, hey, that guy could be a wide receiver in the NFL, a wide receiver one in the NFL, or a really good wide receiver two. Where I look at Roman Wilson as a guy who's going to keep you on schedule, he's going to be valuable, but he's never going to be. I don't think he's ever going to be a wide receiver one in the NFL either.
No, it just means that he'll tumble. It means that you can get good value for somebody like that.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a ton of. I mean, Jaden Reed went a lot higher than we thought last year. He went in the second round.
Well, yeah, I think that Jaden Reed helped himself down here.
Yeah, that's very true. The guy that covers him, Kenyan Mitchell. Well, I keep on calling Kenyon Johnson because of last year, Mr. Irrelevant from the same school, Toledo, Desjuan Johnson. I've repeated Toledo, Desjuan Johnson so many times I keep on calling Kenyon Johnson. He looks like
he looks like he hasn't even hit a challenge yet.
He's the best. I think he's the best player here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like he's going to be the MVP of the week. He's the guy everyone's talking about. I mean, they had him against Roman Wilson on one-on-ones. He won majority
every
of those.
Every single one-on-one. Just about.
The last one was the post-practice compete period, and he slipped. And Roman Wilson made a sick one-handed grab with a bad throw by Penix.
That's the only Roman Wilson win that we've seen is when he slipped.
Yeah. So, and again, Roman Wilson was like even in those reps, okay, that's good stuff from Roman Wilson, but he just eats him up. And when he was, and they put what I liked about the national team is they just gave us Roman Wilson versus Kenyon Johnson as much as possible.
Mitchell.
I did it again. Kenyon Mitchell versus Roman Wilson, about as much as they possibly could. Anytime Mitchell was on anybody else, it was just absolute domination where you couldn't even throw it to him.
Someone that I think might, we were talking about this, someone that might be slipping through with traits because he's not getting the results is Max Melton. So this is Rutgers cornerback.
We forgot to talk about him earlier.
Bo Melton's brother, I assume.
Yes.
they kind of look similar in their ways. But and it's funny because when Max Melton was down here, he had a lot of bad quarterback plays. So it was hard to judge him because it felt like he was winning reps. Not dominating them, but winning them. And then the throw would be over his head or in the ground or something. And Max Melton is...
Come on, dude, get these guys' names
know,
right.
What an idiot, right? Max Melton looks like he's doing a lot of things right. And he just doesn't close. It's just the finish. That's the last thing. And I wonder in a team game situation, 11-on-11 situation, if he's doing enough to not even throw his way. You know what I mean? It may be like that. But,
Yeah, we watched him up and close this morning because we wanted to get a good look at Mitchell. And so we got a lot of him on our side. And it's like, you're watching, it's like, oh, good start at the release. Good job with the stem. And then the guys are able to just kind of like separate from him at the end. Not he might be someone who needs to maybe
just some coaching up.
Or just be someone who's like, get your hands on guys a little more. Be more disruptive because you're not going to have these big losses, but you kind of have lost at the catch space. Not the contested catches, but he's lost at the catch space. But I like him though. I watch him out here, like another Northeast guy, Kaylin King, Penn State. I mean, he was talked about like as maybe getting back into the first round as the way he was viewed last year. He was bad. Like he's been the pick on corner down here. Like they've been picking on him, and we have an interview with him. It's not coming on the podcast Friday.
No. I mean, hey, I'm giving myself credit when credit is due because I said on this podcast and I said even on the recap yesterday on Jam Football, where that's where the recap is going after this stream. I was like, I'm not sold on Kaylin King. I think he has trouble getting out of his back pedal and kind of transitioning and flipping his hips a little bit, and you're seeing some of those issues out on the field this week.
You shit on him in the interview.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I kind of wanted to know why, because Kaylin King had, and his teammate Johnny Dixon, so it's not like it was just him. I said, you and Johnny Dixon had double-digit pass deflections in 2022, and then in 2023, he was down to like single digits, like under 5. I said, what happened? And he gave an answer.
Yeah, he said, like, well, Joey Porter Jr. was gone, so we got a lot less targets. He also told us Marvin Harrison Jr. was, like, his toughest matchup. I almost wanted to be like, what's the second best? Because Marvin Harrison Jr. can put 200 yards up on you, which he did. And I'm, like, not even going to judge you for that. What do you guys think of Marvin Harrison? No, I'm just kidding.
From a Giants perspective when it comes to corners, right? Because it looks like we are in the market for a corner on the outside and in the slot, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, probably not coming back.
Even if he does come back on a 1-year deal, like you gotta start planning for the future.
Well, I mean, that's what we said with Tay Banks, right? Like a rookie cornerback is going to struggle. So if you know someone's leaving, get a 1-year head start. Get somebody you like and build them up if you can, if it's financially responsible, etc.
And me and Justin have had this conversation talking about Banks. Is that like cornerback is one of those positions where like if my cornerback 2 can be a cornerback 1 in the NFL, maybe not the best, but be one. So if Banks develops into like one of the better cornerback 1s, that does not make cornerback any less of a need.
No, not at all. So. I would even say you need like 4 solid DBs on your roster at all times.
Yeah, and I think you need to get a nickel defender who can play the run. I think that's going to be important. DB is a huge need. I mean, McKinney's a free agent. We'll see what happens with that. Penik had a solid year, but I don't think Penik is a huge piece for the future.
He's one of the few guys that had to earn a roster spot in a starting spot in the preseason.
Yeah, he's a solid player. Like he was a good replacement for Julian Love. He did his job very well. But you still would like to upgrade there too.
My question for you guys is, as everyone is raving about Kenyan Mitchell. We are now thinking that he might be in the top half of the first round, potentially.
Yeah, if Emmanuel Forbes went as high as he did, there's no reason why Mitchell shouldn't.
So is there a reasonable corner down here that the Giants could target since Kenyan Mitchell is likely out of their range?
Yeah, I think there's guys. I don't know if I've seen anyone who like screams like early second. Has there been any guys who like scream second round at you? The Fresno cornerback Carlton Johnson. I need to watch obviously his film, but he's looked pretty good.
I would say no. There has not been a second round.
The next DB who I view as like maybe a second round guy would probably be Cam Kinch as the safety.
Right. Yeah.
So again, there hasn't been any of those guys. I don't think, at least not that I've noticed really well. What do you guys think of Xavier Legette, the South Carolina receiver? Because I see good play, but I don't see the great play that I would like to see down here, right? Like, I think he should be showing off more than he is.
I don't want him.
You don't want him?
I don't want him.
So those nice catches he had today, you're just like kind of like.
I'm not blowing them, but I mean, we're still down here. There are people down here that don't belong in the NFL. I don't want to be
that's true.
Rude or whatever, but like that's reality.
Justin doesn't belong in the NFL.
This is true. Somebody accused me of throwing that pass that Bo Nix threw this morning.
Yes, I saw that.
No, I've seen you throw a ball. You do better. You hit the ball in the trash can before me. I think you could throw a better ball than that.
This is true, Jay.
Maybe not on a consistent basis, but just that throw individual. I believe in you.
We're filming the combine next Friday, by the way.
Check it out.
Huge news.
Speaking of combine,
what was his trump card?
Who?
Yeah, like what was the what?
He goes up and makes big catches.
So is he a contested catch receiver?
No, he's not.
He's not a separator. I'll say that.
He's got some separation on film. He can run a little bit. Like he had good like his catches today were like he had that corner route on this little smash concept. He was open on that. He had a nice comeback on the side on the far sideline of us. So I don't view him as like this lunky guy. Like maybe against
he's
NFL
not garbage.
Yeah, but I don't think I've seen like a high second round guy who. When you watch some of his stuff in South Carolina, it does flash like he could be that.
Look, here's what I'm saying about Xavier Legette. If you think that you don't see him as a high second, then that puts him in like the late second, early third. There's better receivers available there that will do more for you at the separation, in my opinion. Yes, he's bigger and he can win in certain scenarios, but I think you'll win in more scenarios using the same draft pick on a completely different wide receiver.
Yeah, I guess we talked about Roman Wilson. Would you take Roman Wilson or Xavier Legette?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's
we
fair.
just said you'd essentially be replacing Sterling Shepard with younger Sterling Shepard in a sense, or even if it's Sterling Shepard light. Absolutely, I'd take that over Legette.
I mean, based on what we've seen down here, yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I have not watched a ton of South Carolina tape. In fact, none. So,
what do we got on the chat? A lot of these comments aren't making sense to me.
How do we assess Knicks' game? I know Mr. Chicken asked a question earlier. I'm going to find it. What do you guys think about Fuaga, Talise Fuaga?
So I didn't watch him as intently today. He looks good, right? He's got.
Where is he from? Remind me.
Oregon State.
The tackle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's got the size, the athleticism, and he wins reps. To me, I think he's got to refine his game, but he looks the part, right? He's handled himself pretty well. I think he's looked good versus Laita Latu.
When I think about what his talent has shown me, he looks like a middle to late first-round tackle, I guess. I don't know what the NFL is going to do with values as we go through, but last year with the injuries across the league, I honestly think when you see a tackle that has, that has performed the way he has here and has the measurables he has, they're going to go higher than their actual value.
Yeah,
they're going to be I don't want to say overvalued because it's a really, really important position. And I think that he's going to go higher than the Giants are willing and or able to spend a pick.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel right now. And I think Houston tackle Patrick Paul in the top of the second round might be a little bit more realistic. And he's gigantic, 6'6", 7", something like that.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the Giants are gonna come out of the first round or second round with the tackle.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that they just can't give up. They feel like they cannot give up on Evan Neal. I think they're gonna try and address it in free agency. I know the Raiders tackle might be
Colton Miller.
No, Ulamina or whoever the guy's name is, the right tackle.
Take your word for it.
Carmen Brasilla. We saw Carmen. So me and Grump had a moment today. We're like, is that Brian Dable? I was like, no, his head's not shaved that exact way. That's not exact.
It was the kicks that threw it for me. He was wearing dirty old shoes.
Yeah, he was wearing the Giants blue, and then 5 minutes later, we're like, oh shit, that's Carmen Brasilla. That's the Giants offensive line coach. Jeff got a really nice shot of him, and all the replies on Twitter were, that's Brian Dable. That's Brian Dable. Which again, that happened to us in real life. Also, speaking of mixing up people. I got a message today. So I thought that Joel Thomas, the Giants running back coach, has been out here because we had another thing who is that?
Just like him.
We went through the coaching staff and didn't see anybody. Oh, that's Joel Thomas, right? Looks like him. And I had somebody in the Giants organization say, FYI, this is Drew Wilson, assistant strength and conditioning coach, which made me feel really stupid.
It made sense, though, because he was leading the stretches both days.
Which is why I'm like, why is Joel Thomas leading the stretches? Yeah, our running back coach, I have not seen it. But seen Kyron Brasillo, saw Jerome Henderson yesterday. But we also forget that, like, you can see all that. A lot of the coaches and scouts just stay in the stands. They don't walk on the field. Mm-hmm. But Kyron Brasillo was, like, working with some of the offensive linemen today. So,
including Jackson Powers-Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think did Dable even go on the field last year or the last? He wasn't here he wasn't here the first year. Maybe Dable's not even here because he's working on the defensive coordinator stuff. But I don't know.
We'll get that tomorrow. Right?
I didn't see Joe Shane on the field today too. Did you?
No, I don't think I did. There's a lot of white skinny guys with nice brown hair that look like Joe Shane
and sunglasses. Yeah, there is
models. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of those.
I need Joe Shane to start getting gray, like the President Obama effect of just being in office for all these years, and then you just get gray. And I need Joe Shane.
One more losing season, and he'll be there.
Oh sure.
Let's see. Is there anything from my notes?
Justin, do you have an offensive crush and a defensive crush thus far through 2 days?
I mean, besides Mitchell, I really like Isaiah Adams. I do.
More than Bo Limmer, the Arkansas center?
Oh, we haven't talked about him. I'll go with Bo Limmer. Limer.
I think you pronounce it Biao.
Bo. I'm going with Bo.
Yeah, it's Bo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Bo.
Bo Limmer, interior offensive lineman / center from Arkansas. Dude's just nasty, man. Like I don't even know if he's technically good. I think he's the only person to really utilize a hop step on a consistent basis.
And I think the only one to beat him was Sweat, who kind of just they just overweighed him.
Yeah, it was like one of Sweat's worst reps of the day. I think was against Limmer.
And Sweat from Texas had a much better day today in the afternoon practice. So Bo Limmer is a guy that not a lot of people are talking about that I like. And again, besides Mitchell on the defensive side of the ball, talk about Hall from Baylor, Jared Hall,
Gabe Hall,
Gabe Hall from Baylor.
What'd you say?
I said Jared Hall.
Oh, they said something else.
Gabe Hall, interior defensive lineman from Baylor, is a guy that's looked good. Dwayne Carter, an interior defensive lineman from Duke, has looked pretty solid. It's kind of been slim pickings with the edge group and the interior D line of guys that have like really stood out.
Yeah, the Baylor defensive tackle Gabe Hall, not Gabe Hall. He in one-on-ones yesterday was sick, right? Like he was good, but he kept on winning. Like he wasn't really like pushing, and then he was just kind of winning quickly. So I watched him today, and actually your boy Isaiah Adams flashed because he was holding his own. Gabe Hall had some good reps, but he wasn't as dominant in team drills as he was one-on-one. So, so there was that. Yeah, I mean, anything else from our days? We ate some Mexican food last night that knocked one of the better Mexican restaurants I've been to, and it literally knocked me out, man. I went into my room and fell asleep in jeans and a hoodie at 9 p.m. and didn't wake up till 1 a.m.
Those were the single best plate of nachos I have ever eaten in my life.
Yeah, it was amazing food. La Cocina. So if you're in Mobile, Alabama, go check out La Cocina. And I feel like I'm a Mexican food, extraordinaire, and that shit was real deal.
All right, we're not necessarily ending yet, but while we have like 250 people in here, first of all, like the stream. Second of all, our recap video is being released at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the JM Football Channel. So as soon as we wrap up here, take a break, take a piss, do whatever you have to do, and our recap video with Robert Schmitz, you get to hear his perspective. 23 minutes, very quick, in and out on the recap of the Senior Bowl. We even talked about players that we haven't talked about there. So the JM Football, 5:45 Eastern Standard Time, bam.
Here's a conversation we can have on here because it's a little more loose. Darius Robinson, the Mizzou edge. He's one of the guys I did a full profile going into here. We talked about him a lot on the pod Monday, Justin, about like his profile and how it's not always done well down here. All of like the people in the draft I respect are hyping him up like he is raising stock. He's 6'5", 287. He's a ball of muscle, and I don't see it. Like, I am seeing someone who looks like Jihad Ward out here. Like, he's going to be a good run defender. He's got strength and power, but he's never going to have a bag as a pass rusher. Like, yeah, in one-on-ones, is he going to have, like, a decent moment? But he has not had any really great moments. His best have been when he lines up over a guard. And then today he lined up on Kaylin Robinson, the Texas A&M guard, who's one of the, I think one of the more underrated because I like Christian Haynes so much.
Right.
And he handled him, right? So there's good plays in the run. But, like, this, I feel like I'm in deja vu last year with Keon White, where we're coming on our recaps and talking about how Keon White hasn't done much, except for he's had a couple of good reps on the interior. And then we're seeing, like, the buzz, and it's like, man, this guy is shooting up into the first round. And it's like the exact same conversation as Keon White last year.
I get very frustrated with things saying that mock drafts would look differently if, I don't know. I don't like hearing things about mock drafts in January. There is so much time. And quite frankly, if you're going to say, like, someone's played in the first round, it would have to be play like Kenyan Mitchell. Where it's just like, I had no expectations. He hasn't lost a single rep. He's blown everyone away. And he's been the star for 2 days.
Yeah, that's how you play like a first-round player.
There should be no debate. There should be no secret. There should be no.
There should be no like.
What I heard.
Do you see that release?
Yeah.
Do you see that release right there? Even though he's not winning, even though he's not kicking ass, you see that release right there. That's what NFL teams are going to like. No, I think I don't know. Kenyan Mitchell's kicking ass.
Yes. Like if Darius Robinson was playing himself for the first round, he would be bullying the fuck out of people with his size.
Instead, we're talking about the O lineman.
It's like,
that's who we're talking about in the group.
Yeah, I saw Tyler gave Tyler Guyton some issues. Okay, well, Tyler Guyton had like one of the fucking best days in the whole thing yesterday. So,
any tight ends that.
So I think D-line and edge. Ben Stenot out of Kansas State, he looked pretty good. He had that tough catch on Cam Kinchins that I mentioned.
Guy from TCU.
Jared Riley or Jared Wiley?
Wiley.
Jared Wiley. I liked him coming in. He looked good yesterday. I didn't notice him much today, but I also wasn't really looking at the tight ends.
He had a nice one-handed catch yesterday in 1v1s.
I still like Stenot from Kansas State better.
Stenot looks like the best tight end here.
Yeah.
Like, Jared Riley's cool because he's, like, really tall. He can move a little bit. He can make some tough catches. If you're asking me who I've, like, seen who just looks like he's going to be a good tight end in the NFL, it's definitely Stenot out of Kansas State.
It's a weird tight end group, though, because you have the guy from Florida State, was at Bell.
Yeah, he's 6'1". Like,
he's the wrong height.
He has some good routes and stuff, but
he's a wide receiver.
I am not having a 6'1" tight end unless he's an H-back, but I'm also not having an H-back who's going to be running corner routes and getting one-on-ones with safeties either.
And then you have guys like Theo Johnson from Penn State. And
Theo Johnson had a really nice block in the team drill. And then
A.J. Barner from
Peyton Wilson, my guy, had a nice pass breakup on him in team drills.
Yeah, I don't think any of the tight ends here are in any way, like, prototypical. Like, no one is designed to blow you away down here. So the one that looks the most traditional is Stenot.
Yeah. I want to watch the Michigan tight end a little more, but I haven't really noticed him much.
He's fast.
He's fast, and he's coming from Michigan. He has to be able to block.
Right.
In some capacity, he's not foreign to blocking. So I guess that gives him a leg up.
Grump.
We're at 62 likes. If this gets to 110 likes in the next 30 seconds, I will...
No, 150.
150. Yeah, we have 230 people here. If we get this to 150 likes in this, I'll just push Grump over in his chair.
Oh, shit.
And also, go subscribe.
Start the countdown.
Go subscribe to JM Football. I'm looking at it right now. 18,332.
I had to put my wire on the other side of this leg in case I really do go down.
I am going to push you out of your chair if this gets this. I don't think it's going to.
This shit is wobbly. It's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. No, I'm not saying that I couldn't push you. I just don't think we're going to get to 150 likes.
I don't know, man.
Spencer Rattler.
We got to. Yeah, he's.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would rather Spencer Rattler on my team than Bo Nix.
Is he a little bit of a head case, Rattler?
Yeah, I still judge Spencer Rattler from high school, like the QB1 series. Mm-hmm. So we're up to 79 likes. So I think you're not going to get shoved out of your chair.
And nobody else will subscribe to JM Football.
The UCLA edge, Latu, not impressing. I'm kind of looking for the Western Michigan guy, Marshawn Nealand, to overtake him by the end of this. He's got one more day. I didn't really look at what he was doing today, but Justin, you and I will go through the trench reps together.
I tried to quickly find Latu. Latu didn't get a lot of reps.
Well, we saw that. Remember, we were going through, and it's like, this guy got one rep in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Latu did get a lot of reps on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then today, I don't think he got as much. So.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
No, we won't.
Why not?
Because we're gonna see everybody at 4:45 our time, 5:45 their time.
Today.
For the recap video that's coming out in like 20 minutes.
True that. All right. We'll see you in a few minutes or whatever.
Check it out.
Until then, let's go Big Blue.
We'll be fired. We'll be fired if you don't watch the recap video.
1-800.